Okay, good morning, class. Welcome back from a long weekend. Wasn't that long? Most of you were absent Friday. Wasn't that long? Okay. At least you got a long weekend coming. No? You can spend some time on your maths. You can catch up on all the lost time. Monday and Tuesday coming is holiday. Yes. Monday and Tuesday. We don't even know what holiday it is. Sorry? No, when you had left your house, dressed in school clothes, you would realize, no school. Because of all the there would be no traffic. All of those things. Would you only have realized once you came to school? Yes, the 1st of August. Right, here we go. Listen. We're looking at exercise 5. Now, why am I on 4? Oh, 5. Right, any issues with exercise 5, number 1? With Bongani, is Bongani okay? Right. People exercise 5, number 2, any issues there? No issues. You guys do the work. And the people that had a nice long weekend, did they went on holiday? Did they do the work? Not this time, you say. People number 3, any issues there? You wanted to go to the toilet. You forgot you wanted to go to the toilet. You didn't stay here, it's fine. So when you people say it's in emergency and you lie to me actually. Right. So I have to remind that she must go to the toilet. Right, number 3, any issues there? No. Number 4? Yes, sir. Here we thought it's going to be a clean sweep. Right, so this is exercise 5, page 74. Okay, there's something wrong with my X there. So I don't know. Sure, your X's are fine. You see, I can't. Something wrong with my keyboard. No, I don't have X's. It's all still current stuff. Okay. Sorry, that's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. People here, number 5. Right. We are told that Jamie opens a savings account and deposits 2,000 Rand immediately. So he says immediately what must come to mind? The end. What's going to happen to the end? Plus 1. Okay. So he continues to pay a monthly payment of 2,000 Rand into account for 5 years. Okay. The interest rate is 10% per annum compound monthly for the first 2 years and then changes to 9% per annum compound monthly. Calculate the future value of the investment after the full 5 years. So what's going to happen is for the first 2 years the interest rate is constant. Now that formula, which is the future value formula, future value is going to be x into 1 plus I to the exponent n minus 1 over I. Okay. So what's going to happen is for the calculation for the 10% for the first 2 years, that formula only can accommodate once the same investment is made over the total period or the length of time at the same interest rate. Okay. So what we're going to do is for the future value, I'm going to consider your 2,000 Rand into 1 plus your interest, which is 10%, so 0,1 over 12 to the exponent 12 times for 2 years plus 1. Why plus 1? Starts immediately. Okay. Minus 1 over I, which is 0,1 over 12. So what happens after 2 years? That lump sum will draw an interest for another further 3 years. You guys understand? At what interest rate? At the 9% per annum compounded monthly interest rate. You guys understand? Are you all okay with that? Then into 1 plus 0.09 over 12. The exponent 12 times 3 years. Okay, so that is the initial 2,000 rand. Okay? Then what happens is she carries on with the 2,000 rand, but the interest rate changes. So it's 2,000 into 1 plus 0.09 over 12. The exponent 12 times 3 minus 1, and that's all over I, which is 0.09 over 12. And now get the A total, or if the future value, the total future value, is going to be 2,000 into 1 plus 0.1 over 12 to the exponent, exponent 12 times 2 plus 1 minus 1 over 0.1 over 12. That must be multiplied by 1, your interest factor for the 3 years, 1 plus 0.09 over 12 to the exponent, to the exponent 12 times 3. So press on equals. So you press answer, which is a calculation in the red, plus. I think last week when you did the full calculation, the calculator didn't allow us, no? So it's going to be 2,000 into 1 plus 0.09 over 12 to the exponent 12 times 3 minus 1 over 0.09 over 12. Gives you 154,000. Is that correct? Huh? Okay. So 154,000 718, 82. Right, where'd you go wrong here?
So I didn't know what to do.
You know now what to do. Anybody else had attempted it? Nobody attempted it, son. So you guys had a really good weekend. Dina not making eye contact, so. Right. Expect something like this in your exam, no? So now I know what you guys are doing and what you're not doing. Okay. You are moving. Huh? You are moving. Houses? Nice. Now give your old house to me. Joking. So do you know what you had to do, Michael, since you were moving? You had to, in the new house, do a lot of maths. So that you start inculcating from the beginning. Then it will become part of your life. You understand? So it was new changes you had to do, then new things. Okay. Right, new heading, balance outstanding in present value annuities. Balance outstanding in present value annuities. That's your heading. We're going to read through them through the explanation given now. Just make Balance outstanding in present value annuities, which is present value, so that is basically dealing with loans, bonds, car finance and stuff like that. Okay. We're reading on the examples on page, or the explanation on page 75. Okay. So we are told that in course of repaying a loan, we could be interested in knowing the balance outstanding, the actual remaining debt after a period of time. So basically what happens in life is that, say you take out a bond for your house now, for Medina's new house. You bought it cash probably, no? But it's just for argument's sake. Right? You take out a loan. Right? Now, after 5 years, you want to now sell your house, of course, no? So what's going to happen is after 5 years, you're going to get a massive increase in salary. Now, after 5 years, you've now got your experience in your field. Not so? And then with that, your salary doubles. Okay? But the other industry. But anyway, that's how it works. So after 5 years, you get a massive jump in salary. You now buy a new house. Not so? So after that 5 years, of course, when you take out a loan, you take out a loan over for a house over 20 years or 30 years. Okay? So we take out the loan over 20 years, but after 5 years, you actually want to sell and buy a new house. Okay? After 5 years, that is the amount. We would like to calculate the amount owed to the bank so that we can first settle that one debt and then go into the new venture for the new house. Does it make sense? Okay, so we would like to know how much you owe the bank with the financial institution after 5 year period. Okay, we don't keep the house. We don't. In reality, we don't pay the house over 20 years. Okay, although the calculation, the initial calculation, is made over 20 years. We don't keep the house over 20 years. You understand? Also, when, for argument's sake, if you buy a house at the age of 45, a new house, with a different house, okay? At 45 years old, and you retire at 60. So you take out the loan for 20 years, but at the age of 60 you retire, not so? Then you must get your retirement annuity. Then the first thing you do with that is you don't go to Hawaii and Honolulu. No. No? You first square up your house, then you're a math teacher, and then you go to Zimbabwe or somewhere, no? But that is the way you do things, okay? You're going to first square up your house. So after 15 years, we'd like to know first how much you owe on your house. Does it make sense, people? Okay. So here we said after a period of time. There are two methods that can be used to determine the balance at any time. The most logical is the balance outstanding is equal to money owed minus the money paid. The loan plus your interest over the time period minus payment made plus your interest accumulated on those payments. Consider the timeline. Okay, so for those of you who want to know the daddy and all of those things, you read through this timeline. Okay, you can go through that. Make sense of what's happening here. Now, there's two ways, as they say, that you can do the calculation. This is the one way, okay? And the other method is, both is explained here, but the one I use is the balance outstanding is equal to A minus M. So write this down. Balance outstanding is equal to A minus M. I just feel that this formula can always be used. Okay, the other one is a variation if something happens on the formula. Okay, if some wording changes here, and then that other formula can't be applied. However, this formula here could be applied all the time. Okay, with a variation that is made on that formula is a bit complex. Okay, so this basically straightforward. So balance outstanding. So what happens is, say for argument's sake, you take out the home loan for 20 years, and you would like to know how much you owe after 15 years. Then what we do is we take your A value. What is the A value? That is from that formula, P into 1 plus I to the exponent, and use that formula. Okay? And what does this tell us? This tells us that how much we owe the bank after 15 years. You see that, people? So, according to this calculation, what they do is they take the house, the amount of the house, and they work out the compound interest on that house. Okay, using the compound formula. Then all the money that you paid over that period of time is then as an investment. Okay? So it will be x into 1 plus I to the exponent n minus 1 over I. Okay, so the balance outstanding follows that formula. Again, your A, this amount here is how much the loan has grown to. Okay? And this here is how much you actually paid over the period of time. Okay? So that they treat as if you had made an investment over the time period. Does it make sense? So what we do is we subtract the two and we'll get the balance outstanding. Okay? You all okay with that? Alright. Consider the timeline showing the same situation as before. A loan L must be paid back over n years. And in payments of X. Okay, we use n to be years. Okay? You want to find the balance outstanding after K payments has been made. Okay, balance outstanding there. And the remaining debt, balance outstanding will be covered. Okay, so that is the other formula that they use. Okay? But don't worry about that. If you understand that one formula, that formula can be applied all the time. Okay? So let's look at worked example 1. And this is on page example 1, page 76. But Nigel takes out a loan of 3 million from the bank to start his own business. The loan will be annuitized. What does annuitized mean? I told you this word already. We spoke about it before. It's to be paid up in full. Okay, to amortize the loan is to pay the loan up in full. After 15 years, so it takes 15 years to pay the time period, the time stipulated is 15 years. And a monthly repayment starting 1 month's time after the loan is granted. So there's no +1 on the end. The interest rate is 9% compounded annually. Determine the value of the monthly payment to the nearest tenth. I'm sure you guys can do it. Or number the first calculation. Eh? Can you all do the first calculation? Yes. Which formula do we use? Present value. So PV is equal to x into 1 minus 1 plus I, the minus in over I. Okay? You all agree with that? Now you fill in the information that you can at this point. Okay, so present value is 3 million. It's a loan amount. Equals x. We're going to calculate x to the nearest rank, the monthly payment amount. Minus 1 plus I. The interest rate is 0,09 over 12. The exponent negative 12 times 15 over I, which is 0,09 over 12. So first we must cross multiply. So we'll have 3 million multiplied by 0,09 over 12 equals x into that factor. We'll now divide by this factor on both sides. Okay? So x is equal to 3 million multiplied by 0,09 over 12 over 1 minus, open brackets, 1 plus 0,09 over 12 to the exponent negative 12 times 15. $30,427, no, 30,427, 997. So it's 30,428,000. Is that correct? 30,428 rand. Did I say 428,000? Sorry, my mistake. Okay. So 30,428 rand. Okay. So what is that, people? This is our monthly installment. Can you see that? That's your monthly installment. Okay. Number 2. Number 2, they say the balance of the loan at the end of 5 years. The balance of the loan at the end of 5 years. So what do we say? How are we going to calculate the balance on the loan? Balance on loan is equal to A minus FB. What is your A? P into 1 plus I to the exponent n minus FV is x into 1 plus I to the exponent n minus 1 all over I. Okay? What's your P value? The principal amount, the original loan amount, 3 million. You know the interest rate, you know the time period, which is for how many years? How many years are we looking at? 5 years. As you can see here, your X is coming from your previous calculation. Okay? So do the calculation quickly. Alright. There's 3 million into 1 plus, the interest rate is 0.09 over 12 to the exponent 12 times 5, so that's for 5 years, minus x, which is 30,428 rand into 1 plus 0.09 over 12 to the exponent 12 times 5, because that's for 5 years, minus 1 over 0.09 over 12. Okay? So we say 30,000. Sorry, 3 million into 1 plus 0.09 over 12. Why is this thing like this? The exponent 12 times 5 minus, we're treating that all that payments as an investment. I'm using the answer button on the calculator, into 1 plus 0.09 over 12 to the exponent 12 times 5 minus 1, and that is all over 0.09 over 12. Okay. So after 5 years, she owes, or this person owes, Nigel, I think, 2,402,037 rand and 69 cents. You all get that? We'll answer very close to that. If you had used instead of the answer button, you use 30,428 rand. You'd have gotten 2,402,037 rand and 44 cents. No? Okay. Any confusion here? No? Homework exercise 6. Did I give you exercise 6 for homework already? What are you guys saying now? Sorry? What does Martha say? Oh! He's excited the name is given. People, listen. When I put your name in the exam, I expect you to get that question right. No? Wanda, your name came out a few times already in the papers. Not yet. Okay, I must make sure you get your name in the paper then. But you must get that sum right, no? Sorry? Solve for X. You just want your name in solve for X. The question 1, you want your name in. Alright, so that basically deals with balance outstanding. Now we're going to look at delayed start in payment. Delayed start in payment, then we've got one lesson left, which is tomorrow's lesson, and then we're done with finance. Okay. Financial maths. Right, so delayed starting payment is on page 77. Okay. There's example on page, or the explanation on page 77. Okay, so basically what happens is, I don't know if some of you have ever taken note of a car dealer. Then they tell you, okay, you can buy this car and start paying in January next year. We're in August now. Okay? But they tell you, okay, you can get the car now and start paying in January next year. So what do you think is actually happening there? Over that time period. From August, it goes September, October, November, December. So for how many months are we not paying? If you pay at the end of January, so for 5 months you're not paying. Not so? So what do you think is going to happen over that 5 months? It's going to throw in interest. So if you have given an option to start payment 6 months later, be assured, rest assured, that for 5 months you will be charged an interest over and above the normal formula. Does it make sense? Okay, so if there is a delay in payment for 6 months, remember that formula makes accommodation for a delay or if you make the loan today, then at the end of the month the first payment is due. Not so? No? That is what the formula accommodates for. Not so? So if you're going to have a delayed payment for 6 months, then that means to say that loan will draw in an interest for an extra 5 months. Does it make sense? If you're going to delay start of payment for 9 months, no? You take out a car in January and they tell you start paying at the end of this September. So that's 9 months later. At that time you came was, no? So when you're going to delay your start payment in 9 months, so the formula accommodates for 1 month, then interest must be calculated for how many months? 8 months. Not so? So if you delay your start of payment for 3 months, then how many extra months of interest must you calculate for? 2 months. So it's always just one less than the time period. Does it make sense? So it's always 1 month less than the time period. So let's read what they say here. When the start of payment is delayed in a future value annuity, the number of payments is affected. The start of payment is delayed in a future value annuity. This is supposed to be present value. Should be present value. Now why? Because payments is on present value. No? So I think there's a mistake there. So when the start of payment is delayed in a present value annuity, the number of payments is affected. For example, if an investment plan is to accumulate a certain amount in 10 years, but starts paying monthly payments in 6 months' time. Instead of paying 120 payments, you will pay 115 payments. Can you see that, people? So it's less 5 from the total. Again, that is 6 months. So how many months of interest must you calculate for? 5 months. Can you see that? So if it's still going to complete itself in 10 years, there's 120 payments in 10 years. Minus that 5, it's going to be 115 payments. Okay? So if the delay, like say you're taking a house, and you say you want to pay that house off over 20 years, but you only want to start paying in 6 months' time. Okay? The time period will then, your paying amounts would be for 20 years times 12, which is 240 months, minus that 5 month delay. Can you see? Although it's 6 months, it is 5 payments less. Why? Because of the formula accommodates for the 1 month. delay. Okay, so it's always one less. Does it make sense? Yeah? Alright. It is more complex when the loan repayments start late, since the loan grows with compound interest. That's exactly what we said. We say if there's delay in payment, the company is going to charge you an interest for that delay. Okay? Since the loan grows with compound interest during the time that payment has not started, consider the situation on the timeline, and there they explain what happens. Okay? So let's look at an example, and this is the example on page 77, no? Or 78. 77. So we had told you in example 1 on page 77, Clifford borrows 500,000 to buy furniture for his new flat. Is something wrong with Clifford? Or his flat is out of this world? Okay. Because 500,000 is a lot of money. And here Madina is saying it's not. Now why are you shaking your head? Huh? Oh, it's a lot of, okay. I thought you're shaking like, what is 500,000? Huh? Right. He borrows 500,000 to buy furniture for his new flat. The loan is to be repaid by a monthly payment and amortized, which means to say paid in full, at the end of 5 years from now. Okay? Clifford will make his first payment after 3 months. So how many months must we accommodate for? 2 months. Okay? And the interest is charged at 10% per annum, compounded monthly. So is the compounding in line with the interest, the regularity of the interest? Yes. Compounded monthly and made a monthly investment. Calculate the amount of money that you will pay each month. So where do we start? Don't start by skipping the sum now. Where do we start? Which formula, FV or PV? PV. Why? Payment. So it's X into 1 minus 1 plus I to the minus N over. Right. So the loan amount is what? The loan amount is how much? 500,000. Not so? But the amount we're actually paying back is not 500,000. It's going to be 500,000 plus your 2-month interest. Not so? You all agree with that? So in other words, it's going to be 500,000 into 1 plus 0.1 over 12 to the exponent 12 times. How many years is 2 months? 2 over 12. Not so? It's 2 months and it's 12 months in the year. So it's 2 over 12. Or I could have just written 2 here on top, okay? And that is equal to, whoops. And that is equal to what? The monthly installment, which is what you want to calculate, into 1 minus 1 plus. What is your I value? 0.1 over 12 to the exponent negative 12 times. Now how many months is this for? Remember, how many months are the delay of? 3 months. So there will be 1 less than that. We have already made the accommodation for that too. Can you see that? So it must come less than 2 here. So in other words, it's for how many months? Sorry, this is for how many years? 5 years? Less than 2 months. That I made a accommodation for it. Minus 2. Over I, so 0.1 over 2. Does it make sense, people? So do it again. Yes?
Why is it minus 12 over 12?
Minus 2 over 12. Because if you look here, that is already months. 12 times 5 is 60 months. That is why I'm not putting 2 over 12. Okay. I could have just written this as 2 months here, which is 2 over 12 times 12 is just 2. I could have just written 2. Okay. Any other confusion here? I think I must do another sum like this. No? Okay, let's first do the calculation of this. So x is equal to, cross multiply. So it's 500,000 into 1, that's 5 million. No? Yeah, 500,000 into 1 plus 0.1 over 12 to the exponent 12 times 2 over 12, which is 2. Okay. Times, you cross multiply, 0.1 over 12. And that is going to be divided by this product factor to get x on its own. So there will be 1 minus, open brackets, 1 plus 0.1 over 12 to the exponent, negative, open brackets, 12 times 5 minus 2. It's 11,088 rand and 91 cents. Okay. So his monthly installment is my whole salary. No? That's why I say something wrong with these. Okay. Okay, people, you guys understand? Now we said we're going to do another calculation. Let's look at number 1 of exercise 7. Number 1. Which page is this on? Okay, exercise 7 on page 78 in number 1. We are told how much can be borrowed from the bank if the borrower repays the loan by means of 48 equal payments of 1,000 rand starting in 6 months' time from now. If the interest is 10.5% per annum compounded monthly. So what do you notice? There's a delay of 6 months. So how many months of interest will I pay? Will this loan draw? 5 months before we actually start the calculation. Not so. So which formula do I use? PVS is equal to x into 1 minus 1 plus I to the exponent minus n all over I. So do the substitution. Let's see if you understood what I was trying to explain. Right, so what is the PV value? Is what we're calculating, not so? So the present value is what we're calculating. But remember, whatever the present value is going to draw an interest for 5 months. So it's going to be 1 plus 0,105 over 12 to the exponent 5. Or 5 over 12 times 12. You all agree with that? Remember, most of you would write that. Equals x. What's the x? 1,000 rand into 1 minus 1 plus I, which is 0,105 over 12 to the exponent. They get the 12 times. For how many months is this? What do you think? 42 or 48? 48. Why? Because the leading age is how much can be borrowed from the bank if the borrower repays the loan by means of 48 equal monthly payments. He didn't say we'll amortize the loan in 48 months. Can you see the difference? You had said it will take 4 years to pay the loan. Then I would have taken that 5 months off that total. But he's going to make 48 payments. So it's going to be 12 and 48 over 12. This all over I, which is 0,105 over 12. Okay? So what I need to do is to get P on its own. I'm going to divide both sides by this product factor. Okay? So the present value is simply going to be 1,000 into 1 minus, open brackets, 1 plus 105, 0,105 over 12 to the exponent negative 48. That's all over 0.105 over 12. That answer must be divided by the product factor, which is highlighted in black thing. 1 plus 0.105 over 12 to the exponent 5, which is 37,392 rand. Is that correct? Right. 37,392 rand and 54 cents. Alright, you guys understand?
Good afternoon. May I have your attention, please? The following learners can you please report to the office: Onele Mpefu and Zia Vermaak. Onele Mpefu and Zia Vermaak. There will be a pride meeting now at second break in Miss Dixon's classroom, room 17. Pride meeting in room 17, Ms. Dixon's classroom now at second break. RCL will meet in the foyer now during second break. All RCL members, can you please meet in the reception area for a short meeting? Thank you.
Okay, so for homework, I would like you guys to do out of exercise 7, you don't do the whole exercise. Just do number 2 and 3. Okay. So out of exercise 7 is number 2 and 3. Okay.